In this movie, I'm going to show you how to install XAMPP on a Mac. XAMPP is spelled XAMPP. It's a package that includes the Apache web server and MySQL and PHP and a bunch of other things. And we're going to be using it for running the examples in this course. So you need to install it on your machine if you want to follow along with the examples in this course. Before you install XAMPP, there's a couple of things you'll need to do. One is to check your system preferences, and you want to make sure that you're not already running a web server. So under sharing here, if you see web sharing, you want to make sure that it's unchecked. If you have the very latest version of OS 10, you probably will not see web sharing here, and that's fine. That means that you're probably not already running a web server. But if you're using a version of OS 10 earlier than 10.8, I believe it is, you might have web sharing here and it might be checked. And that means that Apache is already running on your machine. You want to uncheck that and quit that version of Apache before installing and running this other one. So I'm going to quit System Preferences with Command Q. And next I want to install a text editor. So I'm going to come up here to the App Store and I'm just going to search for Text Wrangler. There it is. Text Wrangler is free. You see it's already installed on this Mac. If it's not already installed on yours, you'll want to just click the free installation button there. It's an excellent text editor. You see it gets great reviews, and we'll be using it in this course. So I'm going to press Command Q to quit the App Store. And now here on the ApacheFriends.org website, this is where you would get XAMPP from. And there's a download button here for Apple. I'm going to ask you, though, to download it from my website instead. And the reason for this is explained on this page, but basically, because they update the XAMPP package frequently, the way you install it and the way that it works tends to change frequently. And if you really want to follow along with my installation and follow along with the examples, then you probably want to be running the exact same version that I'm running today as I do this recording. And you can download that right here under the Mac section here for XAMPP for SQL or MySQL 2014 current version. That's this course, and you would download this version 1.8.3-3. You would download that and install that one. It's probably okay if you install this other one from the XAMPP website from ApacheFriends.org. It's just, it might look different on the screen and some of the installation steps might be different and you might need to figure some of that out yourself. If you really just want to follow along with me, then I suggest you download it from my website. Now, I've already downloaded it here and I have it here on my desktop, and I'm going to double click on this DMG package and it brings up this installer, and I just double click on this installer and you get this standard warning that I downloaded it from the internet, and I say, okay, go ahead and open it and type in my password, and we'll just press next, and we'll leave all these things checked, press next, and press next again just to install it to the default location. I'll uncheck this because all it does is bring up a web page, which you can bring up at any time. Bitnami provides the installer for XAMPP, and they also allow you to install some other packages. If you want information about that, then leave it checked. I'm just unchecking it and pressing next, and next one more time to go ahead and run the installation. And you'll see some ads up here about Bitnami. The actual software does not have ads. It doesn't install anything unnecessary on your computer. It's actually a pretty good package, and I've been using it for a number of courses over the years. All right, so setup is complete. All this Launch XAMPP button does is it starts up Safari, and since I'm not using Safari, I'm not going to leave that checked. So I'm going to click Finish, and I'm going to go ahead and unmount the installer here. Just click on my desktop and press Command N to bring up a new Finder window and go to Applications and XAMPP. And I see here this Manager OS 10 app. I'm going to drag that down here into my dock. And let's just put it on the other side of Safari there. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It calls itself Application Manager from the inside. From the outside, it's Manager OS 10. I'm just going to type in my password. This is my system password because it needs administrator privileges. And select Manage Servers. And you notice that it already started Apache because we just installed. That won't always be the case though. So you may have to select that and press Start, like I'm going to do with MySQL. I'm going to start MySQL. I select it over here and I press Start. And it says starting for a moment, and then it will say running, and we'll get a little green light here. And there we have it. Now I can Command Q quit. It'll always ask me if I'm sure. The manager application does not need to keep running. Those servers are now started and they're running in the background. And so I don't need that manager app again unless I want to stop them. For example, if I wanted to stop them, I could click on the manager app, type in my password, and go to manage servers, and then I could stop them. I could press stop here. I could select that one. I could stop there. Most of the time, you're not really going to need to stop them. Pressing Command Q here to quit. Running them all the time doesn't take much CPU or much energy. So I'm going to bring up Google Chrome here, and I'm going to open a new tab and type in localhost. And there we have it. We're running XAMPP. And if I click on English, I can look at the status here. It says MySQL is running, PHP, Perl, all these things. And if I come down here to PHP MyAdmin, it opens it in a new tab here. And we can see that MySQL is running because it's finding all these databases here. And so we have now successfully installed XAMPP. Now, you can use whatever web browser you want. I'm using Google Chrome. There's no reason that you have to do that. You just need to come back up here and open a new tab and type localhost again. Anytime you type localhost, it'll bring you up to this XAMPP page, and you can check the status and documentation and what have you. And PHP MyAdmin is right there, and that's how you get into PHP Admin. So now you've successfully installed XAMPP on your Mac. In the next movie, I'll show you how to set up your MySQL users.